What's up, guys? Zade here, my boy Leon. What'd you do today?
I played Exosisters at locals.
And did what?
Huh?
And did what? Got what place?
I got first.
Let's go.
Went Exo.
The man, the myth, the legend. Exosisters.
All right. Let's see.
You have any shout outs or anything before you get in or not?
Shout out to Joshua Som. He went Exo until the last 2 games. Shout out to your hobby place for having such amazing players and nice people. Shout out to my mom. I love her. And Zade for making this video.
Hell yeah. Let's get into it. Shout out Leon's mom.
3 Martha, 3 Ellis, 2 Stella, 2 Sophia, and 1 Irene. I recently cut this down to 2, and I recently just cut this down to 2 because I went back and forth deciding whether I wanted to see more names or just more cards to kind of blow up my opponent or like more hand traps and stuff, and I think this is a good ratio.
What do they each do? If you can give a quick summary on them, because I don't know this deck that well.
Alright, I'll start with the best, I guess. If anyone wants to donate a Starlight Marfa to the cause, you're more than welcome to. Send it to Zade's address. I'll put it in the video.
Check the description.
So this one's arguably the best one. This one you reveal it, you summon her and Ellis from the deck. So, and she's free.
Nuts.
This one is if you control an Exosister monster, you can summon her from the hand. This one lets you summon one from the hand. This one lets you draw a card if you control another Exosister, and then this one lets you draw a card by putting an Exosister card back in your deck as cost and then drawing a card.
Oh,
and then if you control these 2 when you do these effects, you gain 800. If you control these 2 when you do the effects, you gain 800.
So, bro, like 800 life? So you win in time?
Sure.
Win the game?
Yeah, sure. Three D Shifter, 3 Ash, and 2 Ghost Mourner as my other monster hand traps.
How is a Ghost Mourner? I've been hearing people talk about that card a lot.
So far in testing, it's been really, really, really good. They'll summon, like against the Math Mechs, if they summon their guy, you use this and it baits out their 1 negate. Or you know, it's basically, well, so if you're going against tier and they summon their guys on your turn, you just use this, and then you win. Or if they summon, what's his name, dude? What the fuck's his name?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm so tired. But anyway, this card is basically just another Veiler, but like, it burns in time, and it's on summon, which isn't too bad. Most things happen on summon, or if they're gonna do something on summon anyway, you know, you just negate it. So, but it is just really good because it burns, and you can use it on your turn. And so far, I've used it on my turn like 30% of the time. I do most of my games. So I mean, I just think it's really cool. It's a nice 2-of in your deck. I probably run 3, but I just didn't have the room. So the cool thing is that over Veiler, you can use it on your turn too. And that has come up enough to where
it's worth it.
I think that card's really good. And then what? 3 packs, and then the 1 armament. This card searches any card in your deck. And this card lets you XYZ over any of your Exosister monsters on your opponent's turn, and you could do it on your turn, but only if your opponent controls a monster summoned from the graveyard. So, and that comes up sometimes, but it's mainly just a 1-up just in case you brick or something and you draw that and you just kind of like, you know, summon something on their turn. 3 Dark Ruler, 2 Prosperity, 1 D-Fisher, 1 Necrovalley, and 1 Callby.
Why'd you offer only 2 Prosperity?
Because you still need your extra deck most of the time, and you kind of just want to see it enough to where you're not bricking with it, and you're not, normally when you use it, you're not banishing 3. So by the time you use 1 of your Prosperities, chances are the other 2 are dead, and 2's enough to just draw into it without like, oh, I drew another one, or oh, I have 2 in my hand and stuff like that.
That's fair.
So I personally like 2. I don't think running 3 is bad because you see it, but you know, most of the time, 2's just been like enough for me. And then these are kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah, auto win, auto win, auto win.
Kind of, yeah. And then I run 3, 3, and then the 3 Imperm. It's pretty self-explanatory. I went back and forth between playing like 2 and 2 or 2 and 3 or just 3 and 3. And I went back to 3 and 3 because this card outs mine. And sometimes you get in a weird scenario. Well, if you know your opponent's playing Super Poly, or if you know that you have like a really weird bricky hand. This guy lets you XYZ someone on your opponent's turn, so if you have two, sometimes you can leave 2 of your XCs on the field to dodge Dark Ruler if you're not playing against tier. And I mean, this guy just summons like 2 from the deck.
Is the standard 3 and 3?
I mean, it really depends on what you're playing. I mean, 2's fine. My logic is I would like to hard draw these so I can search and do other things later. Because if your opponent stops you from like doing stuff with your monsters, like with Gamma or Vela or Imperm or all other shit, and you can't search like these things, you're not doing much. So if you hard draw these on top of that, like if you're playing in the nib and you already have like both of these in your hand, you have like Martha or whatever, you're just like, okay, I'll just play in the nib, they nib you, and then you still have Vadis in your hand. Because you can't use this under fucking nib, which sucks, but you still have like Vadis. So, I mean, it really depends.
Oh, because all the monsters you control have to be Exos?
Yeah, they have to be Exos monsters, which sucks, but, you know, it's fine. So it really depends on what you're playing into, but I like hard drawing them.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to search them. If I have to search them, then I'll search other things. But if not, I like the hard drawing.
And that's the main deck, right? 40?
That's my main, yes. Starting 3, 3, 3, 1, and 1.
Why is this whole deck such high rarity? Like, not even just you having a high rarity. Why'd they print every card in such a high rarity?
Because they're chicks.
I guess that's fair. The Exo stepsisters.
Yeah. I think all this is pretty standard. You can run 2 and 2 of these if you want. I don't think you need to. You can run 2 of these. You don't. I like to run 3, and I run 3 of these because I have the Starlights. Also, I've been testing that new level 7 deck, and they can, in theory, banish up to 2 of your extra deck monsters, like per turn, like on their turn. So
I don't know what deck that is that you're talking about. Is it brand new?
it's the Shitari Law deck or whatever it's called. And they play Mind Hacker, so they just like pick the cards out of your extra deck. So if you only have 2 of these, they pick one, and then if you hand trap them and they have the spell guy that searches the spell, they can just banish another, and then you have no Magnifica. Not that really matters within the next like I don't know half a year, but I mean fuck it, I have 3.
It's good to know though.
Yeah. And then my one of random ones, I run the Utopia package, Zeus and Lina.
These come up? I haven't seen this in
This
God
very
knows how
rarely.
long.
This is only when you play against a deck that summons a really big guy that's unaffected by things. Because
Yeah, like
otherwise
a
we just lose.
Ignister type
Like
thing.
pretty much just against Ignisters, and I mean really honestly just against Ignisters. If they summon that guy with like 4K, you lose. So you have to out it somehow, and then that's the out, and you have like the space because there's not much else you need to run. And then Zeus because you know, Zeus, and then Lina. There's actually a reason I run this. It's because I've played games where my opponent, what is it? Contact C? Is that what it is? It was one of those sea monsters
Where you can't XYZ summon?
So, yeah, without using his material or whatever.
Flying, I think.
It might be flying C. You can only XYZ if you use his material.
Yeah.
So I'm able to use one of my Exosisters and that card to make this, and either crash into it and search, or just leave it on the field because you can't do anything else with it. And then wait next turn to do other things. Like if you have Vadis or something, you know, you're still able to play. But basically, it kind of outs that card, and it gives you the Light Charmer to just, if it gets destroyed, you search like Martha or something. So at the very least, it outs that, which has come up, which is why I play this.
And there's not really other cards you want to play in the spot anyways.
I mean, I don't know. You could run like Baguska or what other, like Cowboy or something. I don't know. Dweller. You could run Dweller, but a lot of times, like, you're using Martha, or if you're going like turn 3 or whatever, you're using Vadis on your turn to summon Sophia and the other one, and then draw a card and then kind of go from there. So they don't come up enough, but they're in there just in case those are in there, or just in case that happens. So
onto the side. The goo.
3 Lightning Storm, 3 evenly.
We don't mess around with back row in this house.
No, because back row decks and decks that don't have too many negates lose to this. And
You
then,
board this in against like a, what's it called? Tier element?
Yes. Because if they're running the Eradicator and they call Spell, you just do this anyway.
Oh
Or,
yeah, you just evenly throw
yeah.
a board no matter what.
Also, Evenly is just good against the deck anyway. And it's good against like any trap deck. It's good against any like, it's good against just about everything except for Sprite. But if you have Dark Ruler Evenly, then you know you win
still
anyway.
win the
Yeah,
game.
Dark Ruler Evenly kind of wins you anyway. And then the red reboot, just for trap decks, just for anything that stops. Also, it's good because your opponent, if they're smart, will side this against you. So you side this against the side, and then you continue playing.
Just red reboot there, red reboot.
Yeah, you need to like play those traps on those turns. And then the one duster, because back row. I run 2 anti-spell, 3 a pointer, and then 2 shadow imprisoning. And I think they're all kind of self-explanatory.
How'd these work out for you as 2-ofs?
I used to main these and they were great, but I sided them out for more hand traps just to play more going second and whatnot. But yeah, no, I mean you go against tier. I sided against tier sprite. I played against Dynamorphia because sometimes you see that shit. And I think those are the only main ones that I think I've seen most of the time. But against tier and sprite, you kind of just play this. Half a sprite's dead, your whole tier's dead. And then, you go from there.
Well, you have any final thoughts or anything on the list?
If everyone out there is a smart player, they'll side 3 light imprisoning mirrors because if they don't, they lose.
You gotta have the odds to the best deck, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
YCS.
thank you for the profile, my friend.
You're welcome.